Now for the show that's truly too hot to handle. It's The Melting Pat, and it starts right now.
You're listening to The Melting Pat. Here's your host, Pat Johnson.
Well, thank you, Jerome. Hello, my friends, and welcome to the show, The Melting Pat, the Next Level Network. How are you? How's it going for you today? I'm good. I'm okay. I'm tired because my son doesn't sleep that well, so that means none of us sleep well. But anyway, we're okay. We're okay. Grand scheme, we're okay. Hope you're well. Hope everything's going great. We are climbing ever slowly. Well, I guess we're not climbing at any faster or slower speed to episode 500, which is nerve-wracking, honestly, because we're planning something for real. And we have two things in place, and most of the show is kind of planned already. It's 6 months from now, 5 months from now. But the beauty of this show is that I can plan it. I've said this before. I can plan a whole episode in 3 minutes. And the fact that I have a co-host who I've done radio with before, and he and I could just bounce things off each other and just have a great show no matter what we're discussing. So we have that in place. We have a guest who is going to play some music for us and have a chat as well. So we have those two things, and I guess the topics are mostly good, and we can sprinkle in anything else as we go along. But now we just need a venue. We just need a place to run the show. So that's the toughest part, is finding a venue that won't cost me $1,000 and will have parking. I think that the biggest things were, I would prefer it to be on, if we have to do it during the week, I'd prefer it to be a Friday, because then if I do it on a Tuesday, a lot of people won't be able to come because it'll be in the fall, it's a school night, and things of that nature. So I'd rather avoid that if I can. And so the other thing is parking, because there's a venue. We talked about this. Philomoka would have been perfect, but the parking situation is dire at best, and that's going to turn a lot of people off. So working on that. So if you know of any small theater spaces, and when I say small, I mean 100 seats max, because I cannot imagine more people than that will come out to the show with my name on it. So also it would cost me more money to rent a bigger space. So keep that in mind, I guess, unless you want to donate the cost. But anyway, yeah, if you know of a theater space for rent in late September, let me know, and we'll hopefully be able to handle that. And then if you find a theater space for me, we'll try to get a spot for you on the show. If that's something you want to do, we'll talk it over with the people and make it happen, I hope. So anyway, there we go. Making promises with no one else involved in the show to hear them. Anyway, there we go. That's the update on the live show. We have a co-host, we have a guest. Most of the show is kind of planned and ready, because we could just talk about whatever. The only thing is the venue, which is the toughest part. And I would say the most important part, I think. It's a big deal. We need a place to do the show. So there we go. That's what we're looking for. That is the state of things as we sit here today. And now we could do the rest of the show. Sound good? Great. Coming up today, we'll talk about video game music. I am honestly surprised I have not done this one yet, but we have a lot of good picks. That segment's going to take a while to put together. So, we're probably going to record that separately just to make everything run smoothly around here. How's that? So there we go. We'll do that. I'll talk about hate watching. People hate watch TV and movies, and it's a bad thing, and I'll tell you why. I also want to talk about people playing card games on the L. People go up and down the aisles and, hey, pick a card, $10, and then they lose all their money, and I don't feel bad for for them. And so we'll make fun of them for a bit, I guess. Yeah, there we go. And I want to talk about gig work. I saw somebody bragging about working so many hours and making not a lot of money. And so I want to talk about this weird mentality of, I guess, the hustle culture, if you will. So we'll talk about that. And maybe at the end, we'll talk some Phillies. And they're playing really well, even though, it's Tuesday now for me. So things may have changed by then. Hopefully not too badly, less than a week. But there we go. That's what's on tap for today. But we begin, as we try to do every week, with a song from our dear friends. This is the story of a girl who cried a river and drowned the whole world. Well, she looks so sad in photographs. I absolutely love her when she smiles. Sorry. That's 9 Days, Story of a Girl. That's the name of that song. Man, Pat, you leaving that in there? Yeah, I'll leave that in. That was fun. I was a little flat, a little off, but I had fun, and I think that's all that matters. And I don't know. Is anybody else going to enjoy that? No, probably not. But like I've said for many years, this show's for me. That's really it. Anyway, let's get a real song, shall we? We're 5 minutes in, and we've already lost everyone. So our friends, our local friends here now. That's here/now, but you don't say the slash as far as I know. You can find them on Bandcamp. Here Now, HERENOW. Here Now. They're also, I think it's herenow.com. Ow, now, brown cow. You know what? Let's check right now. Let's check it out. Here Now Band. We're going to look this up for you right this second. It's here now. Yeah, herenowband.com. 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 There we go. We got that handled. This is their latest. It came out several months ago, but I fall behind on these things. But it's timely still because they're playing a show tonight. If you listen when the show drops on May 11th, they were playing a show at the Polish Club in Phoenixville, PA. So go check them out. Tell them Pat sent you, and they'll go, nice. They don't know who I am, probably. But anyway, this song came out a while ago, but it is their latest, and it's new to us, and maybe new to you as well. I don't know who follows what on here, but there we go. So this is Here Now, New Things. The song is called Stayed Dead. It's the Melting Pat. We're coming right back.
There's a message in my chest that says even after death we'd meet again, but you stay dead, you stay dead. Spend our lives chasing the sun without reason. We got so close.
There you have it, our friends here now with their latest Stayed Dead. Again, more from them, HereNowBand.com. It's the Melting Pat, the Next Level Network. Yeah, all right. Way to go. Way to go, me. I did not think I was going to pull that one off. It was really high, and as you know, my register's not that high, but I think we did pretty well there. I liked it. I had fun. Maybe I was a little off key, but I think I got it right. I had fun. Here Now, Stayed Dead, HereNowBand.com for more from them. And if you're in Phoenixville, PA tonight, go head on over to the Polish Club and check them out. They're playing a show today. All right? Go check them out. Tell them Pat sent you and said hi, and they won't know who I am, but maybe they will. Maybe they'll read the tags on their social media things, and they'll go, hey, the Melting Pat, hell yeah. And who knows what they'll say. But let me know if you go out and check them out. All right. So that was fun. We've had a lot of fun so far, and we're going to take a break. And when we come back, when we come back, we will talk about all of our favorite pieces of video game music. So stick around here for the pause sound. Like it's a goddamn real commercial. You're going to hear 2 pause sound effects, and then we're going to be right back, and we're going to play a bunch of video game music. I'm really looking forward to it. It's just going to take a while to put together, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be great, and it's going to be next. Hey, hi, we're back. Sorry to keep you waiting. Sorry, I know that was a long time with the pause sound effect. That's my little guitar mouth riff of the pause sound effect that you just heard. It's probably fine. So, our question for this week, your favorite piece of video game music. Thank you to everyone who weighed in, who shared their picks. Some of you shared multiple, and I'll be honest with you, we got a lot of answers, and if I had the time, here's the thing. If I wanted to share everybody's, like 3 or 4 or whatever from everybody, I could do that, but I'd have to make that like a whole episode of the show, and I don't know why I didn't just plan that. But so who knows? Maybe we'll do part 2. We'll see. We shall see. Also, I'm recording this on a different day, so I've already done the rest of the show because I knew this was going to take more time, and I wanted to be able to handle it without rushing through. There we go. Yeah, so maybe we'll do a part 2, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I already said it later. It'll be fine. Anyway, thank you again for your answers. I couldn't play 2 or 3 from everybody, so if you mentioned more than one, I took your first pick. Okay? All right, is that fair? Maybe not, but it's how I'm going to run the show. So that's what's up. That is what happened with me putting together this segment on the show. All right, so our first one, MAG, well, he listed like 4. So we took his first one, the main theme from Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver. Now, I don't know what that game is, but that music is badass. Thank you, my friend. I should probably look into all these. I've not played a bunch of these games that are on this list, but I'm glad that you have so that I can play their music and we can share it with everybody. By the way, as I usually do with these, I just kind of picked, unless you specifically said, hey, play this part of the song, I just picked a random piece of the thing, and it got difficult when we get down to Clockshot's pick. It got really difficult to pick a part of the song, but there we go. Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver. Thank you, MAG. Drave says, this one will always hit me different. Some of the best gaming days of my life, and it's from World of Warcraft, Wrath of the Lich King. That's another one. Well, first of all, Drave shared the video, like a lot of people shared YouTube videos. And the one that Drave shared was like 12 and a half minutes long. And so it was like broken up. I've never played World of Warcraft. I don't even really know what World of Warcraft is. I mean, it's a whole universe of stuff, but I've never played it myself, so I don't know. But it was split up into little chunks, the music. And I don't know if that's on purpose or what, but I just picked a part of the song, and I thought it went well. So I'm glad that I can bring you down memory lane, and I can kind of tag along with you and kind of be maybe not in the passenger seat, but like behind you and seeing what you, I don't know where I'm going with that. But anyway, thank you, Drave. Wrath of the Lich King. I assume Lich is Lich, correct? Liechtenstein. Ulrich von Liechtenstein, right? Does that work? I hope so. Thanks, buddy. Seth dropped one from Final Fantasy VII, and I assume it's not Genova. I assume because it's spelled out Genova, that's how you say it. Here's what it sounds like. And that's another one. I've never played Final Fantasy, any of them. I've never played a Final Fantasy game. I'm told I would like them based on how much I enjoy Golden Sun. So I think I'll have to give it a try. So, okay, here's a question now. If I'm playing Final Fantasy for the very first time, I know nothing about the universe. If I'm jumping in for the first time, which one should I play? So Pat plays Final Fantasy. Which one should I dive into? Which one should I check out first? Okay, can we do that? Yes? No? All right, let me know. Anyway, thanks, buddy. Hope I played the right part. Spillchuck says, there are so many, but if I have to pick one, Ken Griffey Jr. presents Major League Baseball. The main theme is a sneaky banger. My friend, I don't think there's anything sneaky about it. This is a certified banger. And it just gets better, too. Like, it gets much better as you go along. That's not the thing, but it's, very quick SNES banger of a theme song. I love it. Great game as well. All right, Lockjaw says, this one's a generally unknown banger, Spider-Man and the X-Men in Arcade's Revenge. And he's right. This is a banger. And it's unknown, at least to me. I've never heard of that game. I've never played it. But that music is badass. Thank you, my friend. All right, we're going with a classic, a traditional. Thank you, Smelly Meatball says, for a long time, the original Legend of Zelda Overworld theme was my favorite. And I'm glad somebody mentioned it, because you can't play video game music without this, right? Thank you, my friend. That also reminds me, I got to put in the Super Mario theme song as we get to the end. I think that's what we'll do at the end, because nobody mentioned that, but it is a classic, and I feel like we got to put it in here somewhere, so we will do that later. All right. Clockshot said, Icarus, I guess the Icarus theme from Deus Ex Human Revolution, another series I'm not familiar with. However, well, you know what? Here's the song. Here's a piece of the song. This is completely badass. I love it. Thank you, buddy. So here is that. Again, Icarus from Deus Ex Human Revolution. Not familiar with the game at all. But what I do with these, what I did with these today, was I capped it at 15 seconds for each song. And so if I didn't know the song, I would listen for, 15, 20 seconds. Be like, oh, that's good. And then keep listening. Like, oh, wow, it actually gets better. And that one got way better. Like every time I would go 15 seconds and go, okay, that's good. Maybe we'll use that. And then let's go skip ahead, see where it is. Every 15 seconds, that music got more badass. And I was like, damn it, I had to go through like 3-4 times to figure out which part to play. So I hope I got the best part. It just was so epic, and I really enjoyed it. So thank you, Clockshot, for that. Jen says, Snake Eater, if I have to pick one, fine. Snake Eater from Metal Gear Solid 3. And this one, we just to let you know, we took the end, because this one actually has lyrics and whatnot, which is rare for this list anyway. And so the ending was pretty bombastic. And so I was like, that sounds great. Let's do that. So there you go. Hope I got the right. I don't know if I got the right part, but Pat, nobody cares. No one's going to care if you got the right part or not. Well, somebody might. Somebody might. And my bad if I did you wrong. All right. Meg says from Final Fantasy IX, Dragon Song. This one I think also had lyrics, but I don't think that's the part of the song that we used because the opening piano riff there, it's not a riff on piano. The opening progression was wonderful enough on its own. So here we go with Dragon Song. Again, let me know if Final Fantasy IX is where I should start. Let me know because I've never played any of them. So there we go. Thank you, Meg. Maurice could not follow directions. I did ask you to be specific, everybody, because I didn't want to have to just pick a random song and then I picked one that's not your favorite. So Maurice first said anything from Ocarina of Time except was saved for a couple. And I was like, come on, man, what are you doing? And so he goes, all right, here we go. The Donkey Kong 64 DK rap introduction. So here's a bit of that.
If he shoots ya, it's gonna hurt. He's bigger, faster, and stronger too. He's the first member of the DK crew.
Never played that game. I think Phil had it. My buddy Phil had it. And I'm pretty sure he enjoyed it. He loves Donkey Kong. I've never played that though. Is it good? Anybody, do we like it? Donkey Kong 64. Do we like the game? Should I track it down and try to play it? Let me know. All right. Thank you, Maurice, for finally following directions. Kenny says, I hope I didn't miss any. I'm going to check when we're done. Kenny says, the Bubble Bobble main theme. Hell yeah, brother. I first played Bubble Bobble, I don't know, man, 7 years ago at somebody's house, and then got my mom the NES Classic for Christmas a few years ago, and that was on it. And I'm like, oh my God, Bubble Bobble, like not a core memory, but a memory was unlocked here. And that game is very difficult, but the music is fantastic. So thank you, Kenny, for bringing that to my attention once again. All right, our friend Prime Birds says, incredibly tough call, but I'll go with Sid's theme. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong, from Final Fantasy VII. Good song in its own right, but would not be in the running for my favorite if it wasn't for this cover by TPR and Roxanne Guinot. I hope I said that right. Anyway, we'll play a bit of that little snippet from the cover. The original song, by the way, is very good, but that cover was badass, and so we'll sneak that in. I figure if I'm getting in trouble for playing video game music, I might as well play a cover too. Who cares? Listen, I've said this before. Not enough people who matter to who can affect the show listen to the show to know that I'm doing anything wrong. Like I said, I don't make money from this. The patrons don't get this. Patrons don't get this, the music part. They just get me talking and taking weird pauses. So sorry, everybody, but that's how we go. All right, this one from Threads, BMO_green is the account name here, the handle. So they say, personally, a great fan of most everything by Disaster Piece, especially the Fez soundtracks. Flow is a really nice song. And you know what? I'm not familiar with Disaster Piece or Fez or any of that, but I did listen to Flow. We took a part out of it, enjoyed the heck out of it, so here we go. Thank you, my friend. Wonderful. That's a good one. That's good. I don't know. I was going to try to describe it, and then I realized that I've listened to like 17 of these things today, and they're all going to run together. So I don't want to be like, and just be wrong. I don't even know what that is. Not even sure what that is. But that's the melody in my head at the moment. So there you go. We got a pick for the Tetris song. and there were a lot of choices, but I think I got the OG. So here's a bit of that. Thank you for the recommendation. Tetris music is badass, and that is, like, I don't want to say quietly one of the best games ever because everybody knows what Tetris is, but anybody can pick that up and go, oh, cool, puzzle. Oh my God. Oh, it's going faster. Oh my God, this sucks. All right, I can't be too mad. So there you go. There's my Tetris. All right, our friend Tom says, hands down, Red Dead Redemption. Full disclosure, I think I mentioned this on the show. I played Red Dead Redemption for about an hour and a half, and it felt like Grand Theft Auto in the Wild West. So you think I would have really enjoyed it, but it just, I don't know, man, just didn't hook me. Just did not hook. Maybe I'll try it again. I think I can get it on PC. I think I got it on PC somewhere, or I might be on Steam. I don't know, but it just, I don't know, just didn't hook me. Just didn't pull me in. I'm not sure. It's just not for me. I'm sorry. I know it's like one of the highest rated games, and everybody loves it, but just wasn't really my thing. I don't know why. I do not know why. All right. Before we get to, or no, we have one more. I'm sorry. Oh, that's why. So the reason Brian Amato, our friend, actually responded first, but the reason that I forgot to put him till the end is because he texted me and not on social. So what I did, I go through Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Threads, and the message board and see what all the picks are. And then I almost forgot to get to Brian. So sorry, buddy. But he says one that comes to mind for sure is Dire Docks. That's Super Mario 64, by the way. Never liked the level as a kid, but the music is absolutely amazing. Is he right? I think so. But judge, now you could judge. Just in case you don't know what Dire Docks is, there it is. And fun fact, that is my alarm every day. That wakes me up when my alarm, well, okay, most of the time my kid wakes me up. But when on the nights he does sleep through and I hear my alarm, that is what wakes me up. So there you go. Yeah, that's a lot. It's a lot of, I loved this. I loved doing this. I loved getting through all this stuff. I do have a couple because I could not take multiples from everyone, but I wanted to get these two involved in the show, and I knew no one else would make these picks. But hold on one moment. I am going to make sure that I didn't miss any. All right, I'm glad I checked. And it's weird. I remember reading this pick. Our friend Keith made a selection, and I knew that I'd read it, and it was in my head. But then when I went to look, I couldn't find it because he shared it in the group, and I didn't look there yet. So my bad, Keith. But I'm glad that I was able to double check and figure this out because Keith made a pick. Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind main theme. Here we go. I've never played Elder Scrolls. I don't know what that is. But that theme does sound very epic adventure-y, maybe a little Middle-earthy, if you will. I know I'm not a big Lord of the Rings guy, but I know what that is. And so so that's what that reminds me of. It's very like we're going on a real big journey here. We're going to go have some fun. And now I got to remember to get that theme song before we put the show together. So there we go. Sorry, Keith. I almost forgot. But I knew I read that. I knew that I read that. And why was commenting turned off for this post? All right, we'll deal with that later. Anyway, we're good. I don't know what happened there. But there we go. All right, we didn't miss any. We double-checked everywhere. We are ready to go. So, again, thank you all for your answers. I have two that I want to put on here because why not? It's my show. I'm allowed to do that if I want. So, and nobody really mentioned him. So this one, I knew nobody was going to throw this in there because I'm pretty sure I'm the only person listening to this show. Well, maybe one or two people have, but who's even heard of Legacy of the Wizard from the NES. And it's one of my favorite games, a big dungeon crawler. The music is amazing. So I'm just going to throw a dart and see what sticks and pick, because you could go with any. No, we're going to go with the dad's theme, because every level, what the point of the game is, real quick, just very quickly, is each character has a specific part of the dungeon, part of the map that they can use their special item, special magic power to conquer, right? So you have to use, you don't know that when you start the game because it was the late 80s and they didn't have instruction manuals back then. But every character has a specific part of the map, and that has its own music. And so it's a mom, a dad, 2 kids, and a dog, or a pet of some sort that's immune to monster damage because it's also a monster. So there you go. But the dad's theme in Legacy of the Wizard, Legacy of the Wizard is my favorite. So here is a bit of that. That was a long way to go, really. And we'll be quicker about this one. If you remember a few years ago, it's on the website. It's got its own little heading. My top 25 Nintendo 64 games. And Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time was my number 1. And this is my favorite music from that game, or from almost any game, really. It's the Gerudo Valley theme. You know, Gerudo, I don't know. I've only seen it written. I don't know how to read. But the hardest part about this was picking a 15-second snippet to play, because it's all fantastic. So here's the one I picked. And there we go. We did it. We did it. Clap it up for us. Way to go. Way to go, us. We handled our business. Thank you, everyone, for your answers. That was really fun to do, really fun to put together, and I'm glad that we all had fun. I'm sure we did. But yeah, sorry, couldn't do all of yours, because if I took like 2 or 3 from everybody, we'd be here all day, and then I might really get in trouble. So we don't listen. The show can't get canceled before episode 500 because we're planning a big thing. So we got to be careful. Not that whatever. Not that it really matters, because again, no one of import listens to the show, and it closely enough to be mad about this. And whatever, it's fine. I just can't monetize the YouTube version, which is okay. So there we go. That was our question. Your favorite piece of video game music. Thank you very much for your answers. And I'm going to go put this together now, and we're going to have fun. And you get to have more me talking about something else right after this. There you have it. We're back. That was so much fun. That was a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun to put together. It's going to take a while, but in a good way. Like, work like that to put the show together is not bad. Like, if I got to really kind of line things up and I got to re-record stuff because I screwed up or something went wrong with a wire, like, that part of the work sucks. But editing stuff like this, where I'm putting scores in or little tunes and getting to be excited about all that, that I don't mind. However, it means I got to start the process earlier so I can actually get the show out to you. But anyway, that's for me, not for you. That was fun. Thank you so much for all of your entries. I had fun doing that. Yeah, and maybe we'll do a part 2. Maybe I'll I don't know. Maybe we'll run that back again in 6 or 7 months or so, and we'll get a bunch of new entries. Or maybe I will have missed a bunch from recording to posting the show, and then we'll just do a part 2 of here. Oh, sorry, I missed these. So we'll try. All right, we'll see. Well, not try, but we will see what happens with that. And we had so much fun with that break. The next thing on the list here is hate watching. And please don't watch things because you hate them and you want to make fun of them. I would rather make fun of dumb people in this spot instead. So we're going to flip the 2 things that we have. We're going to talk about hate watching after this segment, because it's a thing that it bothers me, and I'd rather not have that right next to, we just had a bunch of fun, now I'm going to get mad. So we're making moves here. So I want to talk about people playing card games on the L. And I don't mean like playing with like you're going with someone, you're on the train with somebody and trying to pass the time and you're playing Go Fish or whatever. I don't mean that. What I mean is, if you've never taken public transit anywhere, I assume this happens in other places besides Philadelphia. But If you've never taken it, I'll explain how it goes down. So these guys walk through, and it's usually two guys who walk through the deck of cards. And there's one guy deck of cards that says, all right, you pick a card, and they do high-low. So I show you, I have a deck of cards in my hand. I show you, let's say, a 4. And you say, oh, I think it's going to be high. And then you draw a card, and it's a 3. And you give him the money, and say, all right, you put in $10. And if you win, you get your $10 or double or nothing or whatever, however they do it. And you go, okay, high-low. So the guy draws a 4, and you go, okay, I want to go, I think it's going to be high. And it's a 3, and so you lost your money. And it happens all the time. And people go, oh, keep going. Maybe they win 1 or 2, and they go double or nothing. And listen, if you're much like if you're gambling on professional wrestling, if you are, putting up a lot of money on card games with random strangers on the train, you deserve to lose it, and you likely have a problem. That's what I mean. That's connecting the professional wrestling gambling. If you're gambling on pro wrestling, and if you're spending money playing a card game with a random guy on the L, then you have a problem, and you should call 1-800-GAMBLER and get that sorted out. But anyway, I see this all the time where they go, okay, maybe they win the first one. And they go, okay, double or nothing. Great, let's do that. The guy draws a 6. You go, oh, low. Next card's a 7. And they go, okay, bye. And they just took $50 from you, or 60, or whatever it is. They just took money from you. And it is incredibly stupid. And I don't understand why people fall for the ruse, because it's two guys. They take money. They go through. One of them gets off. They take a bunch of money from people, from a bunch of stooges. They basically steal money from these people. And then they get off at a stop. One of them gets off at one end of the car, and then one of them gets off at another end of the car. And then they go meet up, and they go, okay, how much did you get? Oh, I got, $70. Oh, I got 80. Great. 150 in one trip in one car. At one time, in 5 minutes or whatever. So there you go. You just basically swindled these people, hoodwinked, bamboozled these people out of their money. And it's very funny to me that people are dumb enough to fall for it. It's just like we got a phishing email at work the other day that was very clearly fake. And no, we would never get an email like this. And it's just no, this is not real. Don't click on that. Just report it to the thing. And how do I know that people were dumb enough to fall for it? Because not even 5 minutes after I got that email, one came from the district boss. I can't even believe I have to say this. One came out from the district boss that said, hey, this email that we all got is a phishing email. Don't click on the link. Send it to the phishing thing and report it and do that. So I wonder how many people fell for it that they had to send that out in less than 5 minutes. So anyway, this is the level of dumb that I'm talking about. Is these people who will bet their money that they're going to pay. Jill told me a story one time. She was on the bus going somewhere, and this woman got caught up in the card game and played the card game and lost, obviously. And then she watched the guys get out. The one guy got off at the front door at the next stop, or 2 stops later. One guy got off at the front door, and the other guy got off at the back door. And they go meet up, and they exchange. I guess they give them their cuts of the money. Clearly, they were working together, and you're an idiot because you fell for it. And she's like, Jill said the woman was like, well, I was on my way to pay the electric bill, and that's all the money. That was the money that I had for my electric bill, and I was on my way to pay it, and now I just lost it gambling on a card game on the bus. And you would think, wow, Pat, people are going through some stuff. You should feel some empathy. And I don't. I'm sorry. I know you think I'm a good person, but in this instance, I'm not, because I do not feel sorry for these people, because you get on the bus with a plan, and you say for whatever reason you have to pay it in cash and you don't want to pay it over the phone or whatever. So you have to get on the bus, maybe more than one bus, and go down to the electric company or to the office and go pay your bill in cash in person. And so you get on the bus that day and go, okay, I'm going to go get on the bus. I got my whatever, $80, whatever the cash is, and I'm going to go pay my electric bill so they don't turn off my lights. Okay, great. That's my plan. So why, as an adult, this is a grown woman. Jill said this woman was in her 50s. You're a grown woman. Why are you then spending the money? We talked about this last week, where the guy who spent $300 on OnlyFans, and then they couldn't pay a utility bill. It's the same idea. You have the money, you have to pay. I'm not saying that you can't gamble on the bus. I'm saying you shouldn't, and you're dumb as hell if you think it's going to work out for you, because those guys have definitely rigged the game and they're working together to get your money from you. And there's no regulation because they're not a casino or they're not whatever. They're just guys on the bus who you handed $80. Why would you do that? Why would you? Okay, I'm not saying that you can't get you can get lucky and then they just beat you up and take your money or whatever, but that's probably not going to happen. But yes, you might be able to win some. And that's great. Hey, I won $10 on the bus. Great. Good for you, bud. Congratulations. Somebody else just lost $80 because they're dumb and didn't realize when to stop, or didn't realize, hey, I need all of this cash to go pay my electric bill so they can keep my lights on and I can keep doing things in my house. But I'm going to go ahead and play this card game instead while I'm literally on my way to pay a bill with all of this cash that I have specifically for this purpose. You spent the money on, you had the money in your hand to go pay your bill. And you, on the way there, you spent it on something else. You gambled it away. Like, you didn't even go to the casino and do it the fun way. You gambled sitting on the bus and lost the money to pay for your electricity in your house because you couldn't say no. Because somebody said, hey, you pick a card and you can win some money, and you gambled $80 or whatever the figure was because you thought you were going to win. What, we're going to double your money from some guy on the bus? You idiot. What are you doing? So that's why I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad for people like that. Yes, I feel bad for people who are, are in dire straits economically because it's not always their fault. However, if you have the money in your hand to go pay a utility, pay a bill, pay whatever, and then you decide on the way there, your whole reason for being on the bus is to go pay your electric bill or your phone bill or your gas bill or your water bill or your whatever bill, right? The whole reason you're on the bus is so you can go pay that bill and have that part of your life handled and not have to worry about it. Now you're on the bus to the company, wherever, and you no longer have the money. So how are you going to explain? What are you going to do? Are you going to go in there to the electric company or the water company or wherever and say, hey, I had the money, I had the cash to pay the bill, I was on my way over here, and then I gambled it away on the bus? You'd probably say someone stole it, but even then, okay, you still need the money. That's not our fault. That's what they'll say, because you still need the money, and the fact is you had it in your hand. You had it in your hand. You were on your way to go pay the bill, and you decided because some random guy came up and said, hey, pick a card. Let's make some money. You can win some money. Pick a card. And you didn't think there was anything out of place about that. You didn't think there was anything wrong with that. No alarm bells went off. No red flags went up that said, hey, maybe I shouldn't give this random guy on the bus my money, my $80 that I need right now to go turn my lights back on at my house. Maybe I shouldn't give that away. That thought did not cross your mind. So you just said, okay, here's $80 and you lost, because that's how it works. They take your money. That's what they're doing. They're taking your money. No, you know what? Not even. You're giving them your money. They're not taking your money. You are willingly giving them your money. No one is saying, hey, give me your money. They're saying, do you want to win some money? Let's play a game. And you say, yes, okay. And you hand them your money. Again, you don't even get the fun of the casino. I don't think casinos are fun, but a lot of people do. But how do you... If you're betting on horses or dog races or whatever is racing, or if you're betting on a sport or something, at least that's something you can get out. You're at least watching, I bet on the Phillies, or I bet on, Formula One, or I bet on whatever, and I lost. Oh man, what a bummer. But that's at least understandable. That's a real thing. You just got swindled out of your electric bill because you're too stupid to realize, hey, maybe these guys are working together to scam us. Maybe that's how this works. Yeah, that's exactly how it works. Because you're too stupid to figure it out. Why? In what world? What is the best case scenario? If let's say you play this game and you win. Say you win $200. Okay? Say you're playing this card game with these guys on the bus, and somehow you get lucky enough, or they make a mistake, and you win $200 in cash, and they give you $200 in cash. Okay, well, guess what? Guess who now knows that you, a 50-something, 60, whatever-year-old woman, by yourself, traveling by yourself, has $200 in cash on her person right now. Everybody else on that bus now knows that you have money in your pocket, more money than they likely have on their person at that time. So not only are you dumb because you're likely going to lose your money, but even if you win that money, you now put yourself at risk. And I know this sounds paranoid, but you haven't ridden the buses in these neighborhoods like I have. And it's just like people are just, they're going to know, hey, that person has money. Guess what I'm going to go do? I'm going to go get some $200. I don't feel bad. I do not feel bad for people who lose money to these random guys on the bus. I don't, and I never will, because that is, you're not, no one is taking money from you. You are freely giving money to these people because you felt pressured because you're like, no, not even, you feel like, I can double my money. Like I said at the top, if you think this is a good idea, if you think, I'm going to gamble my money away on the bus, you need help from a professional. You need to call a number from wherever you are and say, you know what, I need to enroll. I need to get into this program and get out of this hole that I'm in because I think that gambling on the bus is a good idea. And I think I'm going to win my money by gambling with some random guy on the bus, giving him $80. And somehow I think I'm going to turn that into $160 or $200 or whatever. $240, I guess, would be triple, right? I just don't understand why this happens. Well, I know why it happens because people are stupid. And other people have learned that they can exploit that and take their money. Is it right? Is it morally right to do that? No. Are they doing anything illegal? Probably. But who's going to catch them? You don't know their names. I don't know what they look like. I wouldn't recognize them if I saw them. But hey, it's cash only under the table. They don't have to, not reporting anything. They're just like, hey, you want to play a game? And people willingly give their money for their electric bills and their water bills and their phone bills while they're on the way to pay them. And they think that that's a good idea. And I just don't understand. I don't know. Like I see these stories and people are like, oh man, isn't that a shame? No, it's not a shame because you're an idiot and you shouldn't have bet your electric bill on a card game on the bus because you're stupid. So if you ever take public transit or if you're ever, I guess, let me just say this. If you're ever not at a casino and someone says, hey, do you want to play a card game? And they want you to give them money. Don't give them money. Okay? All right. That was fun. Making fun of idiots. Just, I don't feel bad because you gave them your money and now you lost it because you're stupid. So there we go. Let's take a break. I need a drink. And we will talk about hate watching TV shows and movies and why you should not do it right after this. Hey, look at that. We're back. Wasn't that better to go from that? Well, I guess you can decide after you hear this segment, but making fun of people being dumb is better than making fun of nerds trying to prove a point or whatever by watching a show they don't like. So there we go. I feel like the switching the order up is going to work out for us here today. So I saw this. The reason this came to mind is because I saw that the show Velma on HBO Max or whatever the hell you call it now, it got a season 2. And I remember watching this show a year ago. We watched the first 2 episodes, and I'd like to give things at least 2 episodes, 2 or 3, before I really, because like one episode you just might not like it. It's just all right. Let's see, maybe they get better. So I give shows generally 2 to 3 episodes before I call it quits. So we watched the first 2 episodes of Velma, and halfway through the first one, or maybe like beginning of the second one, I turned to Jill and I said, this is bad. Like, this is really bad. I don't know who this is for. I don't know what's going on. Like, none of this is good. Like, the animation looks good, and that's it. Like, the writing isn't good. The stories aren't, like, not going to work here anymore. Nothing else is good about this. And I would see people trashing it, and I'm like, okay, well, you're sharing specific details about the show, which means you watched it, and then you're sharing like little clips or screenshots or whatever. And so you're effectively promoting the show for free for the company, for the studio. And what happens is the executives who are deciding whether or not to continue the show or cancel it and delete it as a tax break, as is the case with a lot of shows, whether they're good or not, or successful or not, I should say. Good is the wrong word. Whether they are successful in the eyes of the executives doesn't matter. If they can get a tax write-off, they're going to do that. So what they don't realize, or maybe they do realize, maybe they got somebody who's reading all the Twitters and Instagrams and threads and blue skies and whatever's, reading all the posts and saying, wow, people are really trashing this show. And then whoever's looking at the numbers will go, yeah, who cares? They're watching it, right? So they could look at that and they could see, oh, cool, man, like 8 million people watched the pilot episode, and then, 7 million people watched episode 2. And then, we averaged 6.5 million viewers for episodes 3 through 10 or whatever the season was. And then I'm just making up the numbers. I don't know how many people watched it, and I don't really care. But just as an example, like they track those numbers and they say, okay, millions of people watched every episode of this show. And so that must mean that they like it. So you and your friends, whoever, not you specifically, unless you did this. So you and your friends sitting there watching the show, and like just to sit there and talk about how bad it is online and sharing your screenshots and your clips and your whatevers, what you're doing is you are telling the executives that more people want to watch the show and you want more of the show because they don't care that you're watching it just to make fun of it. They don't care the negative aspect of the like people watching the show. They don't care that people are making fun of the show because they're watching the show. If everybody okay, let's say those 8 million people watched episode 1 and then 7 million watched episode 2 and everybody just critically panned it, everybody trashed it, right? And then episode 3, they got like 2 million viewers. And so like what was I even trying to say there? I don't know, a stark decline of viewership. And that's bad. And so then they would go, oh, wow, like they watched the first 2, everybody made fun of it, and then not a lot of people watched episode 3. And then you average, instead of, 6.5 million for episodes 3 through 10, say they average 1.5 million. And they go, okay, this show is not working. People don't want it. They don't like it. It's costing us more money than we're getting, all that stuff. So they run the numbers and they decide, hey, we're going to cancel the show because it's not working out. Instead, because people decided to watch it, to laugh at it and talk about how bad it is, what you did was you inflated the numbers of people who watched the show. Because sure, 2 million people could have watched every episode and really enjoyed the show. And I'm happy that you did. And I'm happy for you that there's going to be a season 2 of this show, even though I did not like it at all. Except for the animation, that was great. Everything else I thought was bad. But I'm happy for you because you now get to watch more of this show that you enjoyed, these 2 million people, let's say, that you enjoyed. But the network, the studio, says, okay, say 2 million people leave positive reviews of the show, and then 6 million people leave negative reviews. That disparity to them doesn't matter because the end result is that 8 million people watched the episodes of the show instead of 1 million or 2 million who actually enjoyed it. 6 million more people watched the show, telling the studio, hey, these numbers are good. The show is getting critically panned and demolished on Rotten Tomatoes or whatever, but we have a steady viewership number for all of the episodes of the first season, which makes it worth it for us to continue making the show, even though it is critically panned, because it's not actually a very good show, in my opinion. And I guess in a lot of other people's opinions, but let's just stick to me here on the show, because my name's in the title here. So I didn't like it, and I never watched another episode, because that's what you do. If you don't like something, you don't watch it, and then the studio will go, hey, nobody's watching this, and a lot of people are saying it sucked. We're not going to make more. Now I know that other studio executives or those same studio executives will turn around and say, hey, people like this show, but we can get a good tax break, so we're going to cancel it and delete it from the servers tomorrow. And that does happen. And I understand that, maybe those two things, like this argument here is not going to click with the one I just brought up. But I understand that there are some studio execs who will do that and be just pure villains about it. I get it. However, the answer is not for you to watch a show that you do not like just to make fun of it. Because at the end of the day, no matter how many negative people come out, how many people negatively come out and say, hey, this show sucks, I hate it. The bottom line is, again, instead of the 2 million people who enjoyed the show and actually want to see more of the show, Like if only they had watched episodes 3 through 10, or fewer than that had watched episodes 3 through 10, then the studio would probably turn around and say, well, we got, 15 million for the first 2 episodes. And then what did I say? 2 million times 7, just roll with those numbers, right? So you had fewer viewers for the last 7 episodes of your show than you did for the first 2 episodes. And so then the studio would say, hey, we had a real drop. Not a lot of people are watching this show. We shouldn't make any more. Instead, you had not roughly the same, but what did I say? 6.5 million average. Let's say that. So 6.5 times 7 is, 42, and add some more. And then I can't do math, people. Everyone knows this. So you know what? Fine. I will do the math for you. Okay. So 273. Those are let's say those are the total viewers plus the 15 from the first 2 episodes. So let's just say you had 288 million viewers across the whole 10-episode run of season 1 of the show. Great. Good for you. I guess that's a good number. Let's just say that's a good number to make more of the show. And let's roll with the 2 million who actually enjoyed the show. They watched episodes 3 through 10. So that's 14 million viewers, right? Add that to the 15 from the first 2 episodes. And again, I'm just making up these numbers. I did not look these up. I don't know if they're available. I'm just using these to make the argument. So you have 15 million from the first 2 episodes, and then a total of 14 million for the next 7 episodes. So you have over 10 episodes, a total of 29 million viewers. So you look at that and you say, hey, that's not good. But instead, they have that first number, that 288, because 6 million of you, or 4.5 million of you, I guess a lot of pregnant people watch the rest of the season. You watch the rest of the show to make fun of it and trash it online, so you could be in on the jokes about how bad it was. So you would know what everybody was making fun of. And so what you did instead, sure, maybe you had fun making fun of the show and how bad it was and how much you hated it online with your friends. But what you also did was tell the studio that more people want to see more of this show that not a lot of people like, right? So instead of 29 million people who actually want to see the show and actually enjoyed the show, the studio thinks that 288 million people want to see more of the show. No matter what the negative reviews are, the bottom line is the number of viewers went up and stayed up consistently for the first season enough where they said, hey, let's make a second season. And so now here we are. And so if I can give you one piece of advice, if you truly do not like a show or a movie or a whatever on a streaming service or anywhere, if you truly do not like what you're seeing, turn it off, take it out of your watch list, go on your computer and take it out of your history, never watch it again, don't post about it, don't click on any videos about it, just move on to something else. Because otherwise, they're going to keep making more of that show, and then they won't have the money, they won't have the budget, or won't have the time or the manpower or the whoever power to make the show that you do like or the movie that you do like. So instead, what you should do is just go rewatch your favorite show that's on a streamer that you want to see more of and see if, get those numbers up so maybe they can make another season of that. Like this whole idea of watching a show that you admittedly do not like. I've talked about this with regards to wrestling, where people will just make fun of a promotion they don't watch or watch a wrestling company just to say, wow, this is bad. And just like to be in on the conversation. But what you're doing is you're adding to their viewership. So you're making the company money and making them look good. Maybe not making them money directly, but you understand what I'm saying. You're making the company look good because they don't care why you're watching. They just care that you have it on and that more eyeballs are on the product. And they go, okay, cool. They like what we're doing. We're going to keep going in this direction. They like what we're doing over here. We're going to make more episodes of this show because instead of 29 million viewers who like the show, we had 288 million viewers who actually watched the show. And it just boggles my mind that so many people will do this just to be in on a conversation. And I just want to say, you don't have to be in on every conversation. Like, you don't have to get in to every discussion everywhere. If somebody shares something that you don't know about, like, I don't know anything about this Drake, Kendrick Lamar battle going on. I know nothing about it. I do know that I haven't liked anything that Drake has done since Degrassi. I don't really like his music that well, and he's apparently a real creep. So, and I'm not familiar with Kendrick Lamar at all. So that's my there's my 2 cents on that, is I don't know anything about it. So I'm not going to go jump in a thread about Kendrick Lamar and Drake and be like, oh, this, da, 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 da. I'm not going to do that because I don't know anything about it, and I don't want to know anything about it because I don't really care that much about either of them. Well, again, I don't know Kendrick Lamar. Like, I couldn't name any Kendrick Lamar songs. I don't know him at all. But good for whatever. Okay. Anyway, the idea that you have to be in on everything is just so strange, and it's just a weird byproduct of modern social media, is that everyone thinks they have to be in on every joke. And so then they beef up these numbers of this crap that people don't actually like, and then they make more, and the cycle's going to continue. And this Velma show, and look, people who are involved in making this show, I'm very happy that they get to make more money and make this show, because there are people out there who do like it. I don't, so I'm not going to watch it. But hey, good for you. You get to keep making money making this show, and that's great. I love it. But the idea that people are just going to hate watch it to make fun of it is not going to have the desired effect. And I don't know, man. Everybody complains when their favorite show gets canceled and like, oh, why can't they do this? But they can give this crappy show. Blah, blah, blah. Well, because you watched the other show to make fun of it, and you didn't watch your show enough, or didn't get enough of your friends to watch the show you actually wanted to see. That's how it goes. All that matters to these executives are numbers. And if the numbers are high enough, they're going to make more. If they're not high enough, they're looking for any reason to get rid of it, to get a tax break, and make more money so they stay rich. That's how it goes. And if you continue to hate watch these crappy shows you don't like, we're going to have more of this problem. Or they're just going to cancel every show to get tax breaks and we'll never watch TV again. Who knows? I'm not a doctor, but I am going to take a break, and we're going to talk about something else right after this. Alrighty, we're back. So I wrote down in the notes for this topic, gig work, meaning like DoorDash, Uber Eats, Uber, Lyft, Instacart, all those things where you don't work a set schedule. You kind of pick your own hours and just go. You have to work essentially two or three different jobs doing similar things to make your money. And I don't love the system. And I've said this before. I feel very fortunate that I only need to have one job and I can work from home most days and just hang out with the family and just make all the money that I need to make. I mean, I wish I made more money, of course, everyone does, but yeah, I'm very thankful that I don't have to do this kind of gig work, kind of hustle and grind. But okay, so I wrote down gig work, but I think the proper heading for this segment is hustle culture and how strange it is. And I'm sure I've mentioned this before, but I saw somebody share a screenshot of their DoorDash payout for the day. And they worked 99 hours. And they said, I'm unstoppable. 99 hours. Here's the funny thing for me. Their gross wages, meaning, before taxes, i.e. not what they take home, that was less money than I make working 75 hours in 2 weeks. That I net, I should say. So their gross wages were less in 99 hours than I net in 75. But they were like super proud of it. And look, if that's your thing, if you're hustling and grind and look at all this work I did, good for you. It couldn't be me, weird thing. But, and again, I'm not bragging. This isn't a flex on how much money I make or anything like that. I'm just saying, if you're going to brag about being unstoppable, then you should probably make more money than me, right? I'm like middle of the road kind of guy. I mean, I've been at my job for a decade, so I've certainly earned the raises that I've received, but I mean, it's all union negotiated. But anyway, I just feel like this whole, it wasn't really like the guy, whoever shared it was probably a guy. The guy who shared it wasn't really talking about the money. It was the hours. It was that, like, for that pay period, whatever that is, a week, 2 weeks, whatever, is that he worked 99 hours and he was proud of that. And look, I'm not saying you shouldn't be proud of your work. You should. You absolutely should. But this felt like a flex or like a brag. Like, oh, look at how hard I work. Like, yeah, but you don't have a lot to show for it. Like, if you work 99 hours, you should net more than $1,100, which is about what he grossed. It's like $11.51. That's $1,151, not $11.51, by the way. It's just the whole culture around hustle and grind and, oh, you got to do this and you got to work oh, these hours and work this job and that job, and you don't need weekends. And we talked last week or the week before about rate engagement bait on social media, where it's like everybody has the same number of hours. It's like, oh, this much for sleeping and working and blah, 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 and the way you're not successful because you take weekends off. I'm like, yeah, okay, but I think we have to redefine what success means, because working 99 hours and bragging while I'm sitting here working 75 and netting more money than you grossed in the same time is not good. And again, it's not a brag on how much money I make. It's an indictment on how little money you make as a hustle and grind kind of gig work guy. Like, you should, if you work 99 hours, you should make more money than that, right? Like, you should make more money than what you did. I'm not saying you should make more than me, but that's not, now it sounds like I'm bragging, but it, like, the whole culture around, oh, don't take weekends off and work 2 and 3 jobs and do this and that. I'm like, man, I always say that I fell into this, but Jill reminded me a few weeks ago that no, like, yes, you kind of got fortunate with the timing of the job. I've mentioned this before. I got the job. I got my first paycheck just in time to pay rent on the apartment we were living in. And if I didn't have that job, we probably would have had to move out. We probably would have been kicked out because we were in a bad way financially at the time. So the timing of the job worked out, and I will be forever grateful for that, because it literally saved our house, our living, our domicile, if you will. And Jill reminded me, like, yes, I got lucky with the timing, but Jill reminded me that I also made good decisions. And like taking the job instead of taking a promotion at my old job and getting comfortable, not making enough money. And then I would still be there, 15 years later. Not saying it's bad to work in retail 15 years if that's what you want to do. And if that is the right situation for you and your family and whoever, I'm not saying it's bad. It would have been bad for me to be at that job still after all this time. I left there 11 years ago. And it was the best decision I could have made, because I would have been stuck there. And then I would have had to go and take another job to make more money. And then I would have been this guy bragging, oh, I worked 99 hours this week. Look at all this money I made. Well, yeah, when you don't make money, $1,100 is a lot of money. Now, I'm not saying $1,100 is not a lot of money. It is. But the money is not really the issue. Well, it is, because you didn't make enough of it. But like, you're bragging, oh, I'm unstoppable. I work 99 hours. Yeah, but what do you got to show for it? Can you even pay rent with that money? Like, if you gross $1,150, what are you netting? What's your net? Let's just, sake of argument, let's just say $910. This, again, I don't know the taxes or deductions or, other things that come out of the paycheck. I don't know. I've not seen it. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, you work 99 hours and you gross $1,150. So you take home $910. Most places in the US, you can't pay rent on $910. Or if you can, that's all you're paying, right? I mean, if you live in a crappy neighborhood, you can pay $5 or $6, and then you have some room left over, but you got to live in a crappy neighborhood, right? So maybe that's the case. But like, if I was this guy and I worked 99 hours and I grossed $1,150 and I net $910, I can't pay rent with that $910. I just can't. It's not possible. It's not enough. And so the idea that somebody brags that they worked for 99 hours because they have been conditioned to just work, go all the time with nothing to show for it. That's the thing. Like, if you work a lot, like if I worked 99 hours in a pay period, I would have a hell of a lot to show for it, because a lot of that would be time and a half. And so I would have a lot to show for my 99 hours. So it would make sense if I did that, because I would actually make money and I wouldn't have to be, at the mercy of this company that's not paying me enough money to do 99 hours worth of work. That's what I mean. Again, not bragging, just comparing my salary to this gig worker, this hustle and grind guy who's bragging about working 99 hours in a pay period, and he doesn't have a lot to show for it. And maybe to him, that's a lot of money. I mean, to me, $1,100 would be a lot of money. But like, maybe to him in his financial situation, maybe he pays $500 and he lives by himself and he rents a room somewhere. And so now, maybe normally he nets, $600. And so now he's just netting $910. Like, okay, cool. I can pay my rent and I can still have money left over to go do stuff. And if you're like me, like when I was in my 20s, when I got some extra money, I bought something dumb and didn't save it because I was dumb. And I feel like that guy would do the same thing. But the idea that you're bragging that you worked 99 hours is weird by itself. Like, you're an adult. Why are you bragging? Like, why, okay. Why, should I, as a random person who you're showing this to on the internet, why should I be impressed that you worked for 99 hours? And then you move over. Why should I be impressed that you worked 99 hours and only made that much money? That doesn't make me impressed for you. That makes me feel bad for you. That makes me angry at the company that employs you because they're not paying you enough money. If you work 99 hours, you should be able to pay your rent with that whole check. No matter where you, well, I guess maybe not no matter where you live, but in most places, you should be able to pay your rent and then some with that whole check if you work 99 damn hours. And the fact that this person was bragging, like, oh man, I'm unstoppable in 99 hours. Oh, look what I did. Like, yeah, that's great. That's great. But this weird culture that tells you you have to work all these hours and you'll have relatively nothing to show for it is strange. And you're not thinking about that part because you're conditioned to go and work on and hit the grind, man, hit the ground running, do all this. So now that 99 hours is time you could have spent, like you could have worked half that and made more money and then spent time with your friends and family and then not had to worry about this, hustle and grind nonsense that you've been conditioned is the way to go. And again, if you're a DoorDash driver, Uber Eats, Instacart, whatever you do, I'm not begrudging your work. That's not what I mean to do here. I just think it's really weird that somebody bragged about working 99 hours and then on top of that, didn't make a lot of money. And so it wasn't about the money. It's not even about the money. It's about all the hours they worked because that's the goal. The goal for this weird hustle guy culture is to work all the hours. It's not about like, oh, look at all this money I'm making. Yeah, but how much money could you make if the company actually paid you what you're worth? If the company paid you what you're worth to do that, to perform that service. And again, I use these services all the time. We have problems with the deliveries. I don't blame the drivers always, but anyway, that's a non sequitur. But the idea that 99 hours is the takeaway for you and not, wow, I worked. It's instead like the takeaway is I worked 99 hours. Look how hard I worked. Look at me. Instead of I worked 99 hours, I should have made more money. And so I'm not begrudging anybody who works these jobs, Instacart, DoorDash, Uber Eats, whatever, because I use these services and I'm grateful for them because it would make my life a lot harder if they did not exist. And so I happily tip well and I'll pay the premiums because it's just how my life is. Again, I'm not bragging about money. I'm just saying, I use these services. And so I'm not begrudging anyone who works them because essentially I need you to do those. And so that's not the issue. The issue for me is the takeaway was, look at all those hours I worked and not, wow, I should have made more money. So it's a weird, you're sucked into this capitalist mindset where it's not about, oh, you should, make more money and your time and your effort is worth more than what you're being paid. Instead, it's you have to work all these hours and that's the goal. That's the only thing. Like you should get to 100. Oh, cool. You got to 99 hours this pay period. Great. Next time you should do 110. Next time you should do 130. Next time you should do this or that. And you're still not going to make what that time and effort is worth because the company is undercutting you, but they have tricked you into thinking that all that matters is how much you work, not how much you're paid, and not what your time and effort is really worth. And it just really bugs me that this culture is so prevalent. And again, I use these services, so I'm not begrudging if you do those. But the idea that you're bragging about working 99 hours and relatively speaking, don't have enough to show for it. That's the problem. And that's where I went wrong, where none of these guys, you can't talk to this. I couldn't explain that to this guy to say, hey man, you should probably talk to the company, be like, hey, I should make more money. I worked almost 100 hours in this period. I'm getting shortchanged here somewhere. Some fee is being taken out, some premium or whatever is being removed that I feel like I'm owed. And instead, it's, nope, I worked 99 hours. I'm unstoppable. Look at me. It's just really strange that everyone's kind of been sucked into, not everyone, but many people have been sucked into this culture of go, go, go on the grind kind of thing, and you come out with nothing to show for it. And so you're just spinning in the wheel. And either maybe you enjoy the work and that's fine, or you're just kind of stuck in the mentality of you just got to keep going, keep going, keep going. And the company is just going to make you, they're going to use you for all you got and not pay you what you're worth. And so I guess I'm not even mad at that guy. I'm more mad at the employer for not paying him enough money. Because again, if you work for 99 hours in a pay period, you deserve to be paid like you worked for 99 hours. And this guy definitely was not. And the fact that he didn't focus on that, but instead on the fact that he worked 99 hours is a concern. And I hope that guy realized it and said to his employer, hey, pay me more money. I hope he went and did exactly that. Coin and all. I hope he did exactly that. All right. I hope that you're all doing okay and that I didn't bore you with that. I feel like I don't know, that took a turn. I think we made it out okay. Let's take a break. Let's do, we'll do real quick Phillies and then we'll wrap the show right after this. Okay, I made a decision because I just looked at all the the timestamps of the segments there and realized I still have to do still have to factor in how long the music thing's going to take. So we'll skip the sports again. I know people are rejoicing because there are a lot of people who listen to the show who don't care about sports. So all I'm going to say is it's May and the Phillies, as I'm recording, it's May 7th and the Phillies have the best record in baseball. And I'm very excited. They've been really good. The pitching's been great. The lineup has not all clicked. Not everybody has hit their stride yet, but they have scored enough guys are clicking where it's not a concern, and the pitching is doing really well. The rotation is really good. The bullpen is not so good, but when you have a really good rotation, you can rest a lot of those guys and not have to worry about it just yet. So hopefully things turn around in that regard and the lineup starts hitting and Trey Turner comes back in a month and a half or so and picks it up pretty quickly. So that's a bit of a concern too, as he's out for 5 more weeks, I think. So that sucks. But everything else is the team's playing really well early in the season, when in the last several years they have not played well early in the year. And they're beating up on bad teams as they should, and banking wins, as they say. So, everybody says, oh, it's 162 games. All the games can't matter. Well, they do, because you could lose the division by a game or miss the playoffs by a game. And it could be a game you lost in April because you said you didn't care. So these games do matter. And the Phillies so far are playing very well. I do want to see the guy on the Cubs, unrelated to the Phillies. Is he pitching today? Let's see. Imanaga, I believe his name is. I don't know his first name, but it's his first year in the majors, and he's been really good and have not had a chance to watch him yet. And that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm bummed out about Mike Trout. That guy cannot catch a break. Oh, man, let's see. Is that guy playing for the Cubs? All right, they're playing tonight. They're playing the Padres. And he is. Look at that. Wow. Imanaga is his name. What's his first name? Shota Imanaga is a starting pitcher for the Cubs. He is crushing it, and I'm going to turn on that game tonight. So they're playing the Padres at 7:40. But it's is days old by the time you hear this, but I'm just going on what I'm excited about. So there you go. Elsewhere, what's going on? The Rockies are awful. Marlins have waved the white flag already. The Astros are bad. The Nationals are getting better. They're turning a corner, I think. And who else we got? Any big surprises so far? Well, the A's are actually not as bad as people think. They're only 2 games under 500. Well, okay. I say that the Oakland A's, who are going to be playing in Sacramento next year, for like 2 or 3 years, because they're moving to Vegas. They're 2 games under 500 as I talk to you right now, but it is the top of the second inning in their game with the Rangers, and they're losing 8-0. So maybe pump the brakes on that one. Maybe cool it on, hey, don't look now, the A's. Maybe don't look. Maybe keep not looking. So there you go. And your Cleveland Guardians, there you go, Josh, are well ahead. They're doing really well in the AL Central. So there you go. That's your stuff. All right. Phillies are good. Big fan. Love to see it. And I'm going to check out that Imanaga for the Cubs. I really want to see him pitch, and he's pitching tonight. So that is on my radar. There we go. We did it. There's your little baseball. I know that was weird. I really just want to talk about the Phillies for 90 seconds, and then go on. And then I started looking at other stuff. So there we go. We're good. We're good. Yeah. I went to go break and then I decided to clap and well, I'm in it now. Now it's awkward. Way to go, me. Way to go, everybody. Give him a round of applause. There we go. We're done. Thank you to Here Now for the tune. Thank you to everyone who weighed in on the video game music. I'm sure that we're all going to be happy with how that turned out. Right? Yes, of course. It's going to be great. We're going to have fun. We're going to have a good time. Everybody had fun. We already had fun. We already had the good time. It's great. We're not messing around. All right. That's it. We're going to no G-Love today because you've been here long enough. But go check them out at Philadelphonic.com for more. Go do the thing. That is all for today. Thank you very much. This has been a Nate Boylan production. Until next time, my friends, have fun. Be safe. Thank a veteran. Wear your mask. Wash your hands. Get vaccinated and boosted when you can. And of course, don't do anything I wouldn't do. Everywhere at The Melting Pat on social media to get a hold of me, newsletter, Patreon, all those things at themeltingpat.com. There we go. We handled all of our business again. Thanks to Here Now for the tune. They're playing at the Polish Club in Phoenixville, PA tonight, May 11. So go check them out. Tell them I sent you, and they'll go, nice, nice. That's it. Thank you so much. I love you, and I'll talk to you soon. All right? Okay. You've been inside the Melting Pat on the Next Level Network. Go crap open a cold one.